Boro is a professional solution for real-time quality monitoring of transport streams across distributed networks. It is used to monitor the quality of OTT and IPTV broadcasting and video surveillance systems. You can install Boro as a daemon in Linux or as a Windows system service. It allows the probe to run automatically when the service starts and protects it from being accidentally stopped by a command from the web interface. Besides that, if the parent process crashes, the probe restarts automatically within the time specified in the settings. When starting automatically, the probe restores its state from the configuration file. This video shows how to run a probe as a service in Windows and Linux. Download and unpack the probe archive into temporary folder. In the probe archive, you can find a short instruction on running services in different operational systems. Starting a probe in Linux. Let's start with the demonization of the probe in Linux on the example of Ubuntu operating system. To run the services, the systemd and service manager is used. To run the service, you need to create a unit file. You can find a unit file sample Boro client service in the probe archive in the share service daemon subfolder. Fill in the working directory and exec start fields correctly to specify the directory of the probe location and path to the executable file correspondingly. In our example, we use the path specified in the unit file. Create a folder for the probe in the terminal. Copy the Lin64 folder contents from the downloaded archive to the created folder. Probe is started with root privileges. Copy the Boro client service unit file from the downloaded archive to the specified folder. To check the service state, execute the systemctl status Boro client command. Disabled and inactive values mean that autorun is disabled and the application is not running. To enable the autorun, execute the enable command. If the unit doesn't contain errors, the status will have enabled value. To run the daemon, execute the start command. Check the service status to make sure that the probe has started successfully and there are no errors in the log. Open the probe page in the web interface and check that the probe is running and you can add tasks. If the log contains errors and the daemon is not running, check if the unit file is correct. Execute the daemon reload command for unit file changes to take effect. Besides, lack of connection between the probe and the server may cause this problem. Run the probe as a simple application to check if it starts properly. To stop the daemon or disable the autorun, execute the stop and disable commands correspondingly. To learn more about running the service, including information on working with outdated Linux distributions with CSV initialization system, read the Boro documents. Starting a probe in Windows. Now let us consider how to run a probe as a service in Windows 10. Copy the Win64 folder contents from the downloaded probe archive to the necessary directory. Run a console as an administrator and go to the probe folder. To install the service, enter its name without a space and execute the command to run the probe with an option R. Then open the service manager. There are several ways to do that in Windows. One of them is to right-click Start, select Run, type services.msc and press Enter. In the Services window, select and run the service. If there are no problems connecting the probe to the service starts and you see the running status. Check if the probe has appeared in the web interface on the side panel and if you can assign tasks. To install the second service on the same computer, copy the probe folder from the downloaded archive. The service name must be unique. Let's go back to the Service Manager. The service is installed with automatic startup by default. You can disable it by choosing manual startup type. To stop the probe service, click Stop. The status will change to Stopped. To delete a service, open a console as an administrator. Type the service name without space and execute the probe start command with an option U. You can install and run the service automatically. To do that, in the Share Service Daemon folder, open the Boro service install bat file, which performs successfully the following actions. Registers the service with the name of Boro service. Creates rules for the firewall to allow inbound and outbound traffic for stream monitor in any network. Starts the register service. Copy Boro service install.bat and Boro service uninstall.bat scripts to the probes folder. To install or delete service, execute the corresponding script with administrator privileges. We understand that sometimes you may need help. Elecard has a support team as well as a business team that can help structure a solution for you. We're able to help address all your video monitoring and analysis needs for projects of any scale and complexity.